So here we are, we're at the National Snow Show, and today we're speaking with Mark Taylor from Nordica. Welcome aboard.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. So, first of all, anybody who doesn't know you, because, I mean, you've been around for a while in the industry. But
I am getting on that way, yeah. I was once the new boy, but nearly 8 years now I've been a rep, so it's been a long time now, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I'm no longer the new boy, that's for sure.
So who's the new kid? No,
I will find out.
So, Nordica, obviously, probably everybody knows Nordica for boots. It's been around. It's been around for a gazillion years.
Late 1930s, the company's from, and we're one of the first boots makers to make boots that had clips that actually went over the boot. First boots makers to start doing injection molded plastic boots.
Yep.
So a lot of the innovation of what would be a modern ski boot today. The guys at Nordica, I'm not pretending that I had anything to do with that, but the guys at Nordica kind of...
It wasn't your idea?
No, it wasn't all my idea. They've had a lot of good ideas that have pushed the industry on over the last small 70 years of the industry.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, one of the biggest boot brands in the world, they had the biggest boot sales through the speed machine in the mid-2000s, but that kind of died off a little bit as the industry changed. But yeah, the last 6-7 years we've been growing steadily again with some really good products, which is again all down to me.
It's all me.
Yeah, all me. Yeah.
Do you have a chair, a black chair, and a white cat?
I'd love to say I'm like that, no, but I'm too nice for that.
So that's pretty cool. And obviously, has it been a good show for you so far?
Yeah, it's been great. We obviously weren't quite sure what the outcome would be, whether it's worthwhile in terms of whether people are going to be keen or not. But I mean, using my own family as a reference point, my parents have been desperate to get skiing for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think definitely the feel here is a lot of pent up interest and hopes that actually we're allowed to go and do everything that we always used to go do. It'll all be a little bit different, but from yesterday and today, the people looking at booking holidays and people coming and asking, interested questions about equipment and where I can get it and what I need for what they're looking for it's been nice to talk to people again, do that kind of thing.
It's good. I think the other nice thing is that because obviously there's hardware here, there's soft goods and everything, but people are, everybody's been buying stuff online.
Yep.
It's actually really cool to kind of say, I've read about it, I've seen it, and actually
100%.
come and see it. I mean, obviously, I think it's cool to see that.
There's a gentleman I've just been speaking to who has been Googling and every review from every magazine he could find about the Enforcer, which is one of our better known skis, for the last 2 years, and they're pretty much sold out already this year because it's smallish production and it's a high demand. But I have one of a few pairs left over here, and he's just to be able to see it, hold it, touch it, he's suddenly he can actually almost put a face to the name of the product. So it's there's nothing that kind of competes with actually the tactileness of actually seeing and touching stuff in that regard.
And I'm seeing how you measure up next to it and all that sort of stuff. It's good.
Which is pretty important, obviously. Yeah. If you bought a pair of 186s and you were 5'8", then it wouldn't be necessarily the right thing for you.
No, exactly. So it's kind of cool as well. Obviously, we had a bit of a last year wasn't much of a year for anybody.
No.
In terms of anything, but you kind of have some pretty cool new products that are kind of coming out. And you've obviously brought one here.
I have got something interesting here with us. Last year wasn't phenomenal. I mean, I skied in the Peak District for one day. I fell down a hill in January when we were allowed out.
Yeah.
But we brought out as a brand a few new boots over the last few years. But the HF, which is what I'm holding here, was in theory launched for last winter, but really now's the first time that people are actually getting a chance to have a look at it. This is what I'm commercially most interested in, most excited about for the next year. I think it fixes a lot of problems for a whole segment of the kind of the customer base that hasn't really been looked after well enough in the last little while, and that's in general the slightly aging population of skiers, and there's a lot of people out there who are great skiers, ski for a long time, but maybe not every part of their body is quite working as well as it used to. Putting on boots in the morning is a little bit more painful and annoying than it used to be. So we've come up with the HF, which is hands-free. This is an element of it being an old friend. It harks back to rear entry boots of a long time ago, so very easy to get in and out of with one big clip at the back, big opening areas you can get in and out of it, which is easy to get into. And trying it on, literally you can get in that boot and clip it up without using your hands. But this makes it so much easier for people to put on the boot and use it. but it has to ski exactly the same as a four-buckle boot in terms of its performance. So we've used a boot design of ours we've had for quite a while, completely re-engineered it, and we've got something here that I think, I mean, we've had a lot of demand for it already, a lot of people interested in, who have been YouTubing and Googling for the last year, and finally at the show here they can see it. So, I mean, more questions than I can answer properly on them, but you know, it's different. It's never going. This isn't the boot for going off the big Alaskan mountains that maybe, you know, in my brain I'd like to talk about half the time. But in terms of customers and what people are looking for, this is an exact area to look at. And there's a whole price point range for different consumers. So yeah, the HF range is really the most exciting.
That's kind of cool. And do you have anything new and exciting in the ski side as well, or is it?
So we've got a whole new women's range of, called the Bell series, which has got 2 cores in it, so a double core, which is pretty new in the ski world, 2 separate wooden cores, and we've changed how the binding plate sits on the ski. It's all about trying to make sure that there's a better balance point for the average woman skier to stand on, so that they're in a much more neutral position, better balance, and so that you can actually ski more progressively. But also, graphically, and in terms of what the ski is going to do, from top to bottom, it was talked about and designed by women, for women, so really asking them what they wanted by themselves, keeping people like myself as much out of the conversation as possible. So they're really cool, and there's been a lot of people who walked up and seeing them and straight away just drawn to, at the very least, the aesthetic. But then when you start talking about what the ski does and who it's for, there's an affinity there that's quite nice to see as well. So, and that won the ISPO award this year as well for new skis. That's quite good.
That's cool. That's brilliant. And so of all the different products you have, obviously you're excited about this one, but do you have, it doesn't have to be an old product, or, I mean, it could be an old product or a new product. What's your favorite product in the Nordica range? It could be a ski or a boot.
I'll do both.
Okay.
So I ski in the Strider Elite, which is a ski touring / downhill boot. So it's a slack country boot. It suits me to the ground because I like to go fast downhill, but I also love the ability to go up for, even if it's for half an hour to a pub at the top somewhere. Having a boot that does it all is really handy for that. So I'm a big fan of that still. But on the ski side of things, there used to be a ski called the Patron in our range, which was a big wide twin tip we did for a long time. That's become the Enforcer 110 now, and that and the 104 are my two kind of, if I could have a quiver, which I do, but use all the time, they're my go-to skis for sure.
So even though you had last year, you only got like a day of falling down the hill in the Peak District. What are the plans for this year? Are you going
Christmas, actually. I'm actually having a family holiday, which is rare for a ski rep to actually go skiing in the winter sometimes. But me, my wife, my brother, and my mum and dad, we're having an old school family trip to France for Christmas, which was booked for last Christmas and then pushed to Easter. And I'm sure that everyone else has had the same problems with flights and COVID in general. But we're really stoked to go out there and drink a beer or two in the Alps and do some skiing. And lucky enough with friends who live out there, so a bit of backcountry stuff is planned for that week. My wife's first ski lesson, so she's going to get to learn.
Your wife doesn't ski?
Nope, brand new. I know it seems a bit mad, but new to her. So it'll be a whole amalgamation, and I'm actually going to try. I'm going to try freeing the heel for one day at Christmas. So I'm going to have a go at telly for a day. Then I can get back to that learning mindset again, and maybe I've done a similar part at home.
It's going to be like, all of a sudden the green slope becomes really dangerous, doesn't it?
And do you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I think that would be good to bring me down a peg or two and remind me how hard it is to learn.
That's quite exciting.
Yeah,
that's quite cool. So, and you'll be doing that. So, do you have to get all your work done before you go on holiday in case you break yourself, do you think?
I'd say yes, but there's a good chance that the laptop might come with me. You're never off when you're self-employed, but I think, try and get as much stuff done and then get in the car on the 18th and drive straight to France.
That sounds good. So, have you taken a look around the show? Is there anything you've seen that's kind of new and exciting?
Well, there's a whole ski slope over there, which is pretty cool to go and have a look at, and it's great people can have a go on it. So that was one thing I saw that was kind of fun. There's some good accessories around I've definitely seen, but normally we'd have trade shows. You're in the trade, we get to kind of spend a bit of time looking at other brands, new products, and cool things. So actually, here on the retail side, I think we haven't done trade shows like that for a long time. It's been nice to see the other brands, see what boots and skis they've got that are coming out, and just nosy around, see who's had some good new ideas.
Nice, so the final question I have for you.
Sure.
Maybe not this particular trip, but you get to ride a chairlift with somebody.
Okay.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Ride a chair with somebody, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Just two of you.
Yeah.
Who would it be?
Seth Morris.
Okay.
No question. mean, he probably wouldn't answer many questions I'd ask. I think he's a relatively quiet guy, but he was my idol growing up watching skiing. Probably a very quiet, slow chairlift in Western Canada somewhere, I would imagine. But yeah, if I could spend any time with anyone, it's him every day of the week.
Good. So, well, if people want to know more about you, if they want to know more about the brand, where to pick it, where to buy it, all that sort of stuff, where do they go? Where do they find out?
Very simple for the brand, Nordica.com.
Yeah.
On there is a link to all of our retailers in the UK, and how you can get in touch with them. Their website links are all there, so it's a great, easy way for that. My company is the agent. It's mark.trails on Instagram. I put little tidbits about the products we've got on there and try and give kind of maybe a British perspective on how some of this stuff works.
Nice, good. Well, hopefully you have a good show.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to see some other bits. And thanks very much for your time.
Nice one. Cheers, Phil. Thank you.
Boom.